So it was not a walkover.
Yeah, okay.
For Trump, that goes without saying. The Biden-Trump debate was an absolute disaster. And if you look at that and you look at this, Harris knew exactly what she was coming in with. She had a plan. The questions, both sides must have prepared and prepped up.
Sure.
But I do think that she landed a few good punches.
And she definitely, I think, compared to Biden, came across as someone who could also challenge Trump a lot, rather than, like you said, give a walkover. Like it did happen sort of previously between Biden and Trump. Let's talk about issues, and we'll, of course, over the course of next 1 hour, constantly play out excerpts for you, because I understand it was early morning. India Today was live. Earlier than usual this morning, Geeta and I constantly listening bit to bit. But Geeta, what do you think perhaps was the highlight of this debate? Do you think it was immigration? It was the global regional conflicts, Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Hamas? Or do you think it was the local issues of America that Americans are listening and then taking a view on it?
I think everything was in a way localized, because they were catering to the domestic audience and their voters. So everything was how it impacts you and how it is going to look for you. One of the key things that I saw where she actually made a huge difference in the Biden-Harris administration to Harris, the vice presidential candidate, was when she told him that you're not speaking to Biden. You're speaking to Kamala Harris here. So she made that distinction because that distinction was important. Everybody before the debate, Pooja was talking about how she's coming with an administration baggage, the anti-incumbency.
Yes.
The fact that people are questioning and are tired. But I think there were a few important takeaways when it comes to the economy that I think was very important, because both sides needed to put what they think they're going to do. While she said that we have these plans, he said, I don't have an exact plan I can spell out right now. But when I'm president, we will have that. I do have ideas for what things should look like and how they should go. There was a lot of fact-checking also that was happening along the way when it comes to jobs, unemployment, because Trump did hit out at
I think one
Harris,
part where
he did come back.
And where he appeared to be more confident consistently was the war situation, the regional conflict, because Kamala Harris was where Donald Trump tried to pin her down, or the Biden administration down, saying, look what Iran has become, it's richer than it was, or the conflict. I liked how he constantly reiterated saying, if I'm president-elect, even before I take oath, I will ensure that the war is over. Now, of course, there's a certain confident rhetoric to it more than whether it can happen or not. But do you think that's one of the planks? Because the regional wars have bothered Americans, that they are sort of part of a conflict which is not direct. Do you think that's
polarized also.
And polarized.
And it has really made a huge impact on how these elections are going to look like, because a lot of Democrats and fence-sitters who might not be very happy with the situation in Gaza have questioned the Harris administration. She really needed convincing them that she will chart her own path when it comes to these wars, but also talking about and putting him on the mat on how he's friends with all these dictators. And
strong men, like
strong men and dictators, and that's why, things were different when and they take cues from him. To which he actually said that it's actually not that. They're scared of me is the reason why there were no wars, and the fact that you are incompetent. One very important thing over here, Pooja, was also the fact that there were mute buttons, but both of them were constantly on air, with being seen. So while there was no crosstalk happening, you saw a lot of expressions from Kamala Harris. Every time Trump spoke, she would shake her head, say, no, he's lying. And she would mime, he's lying all the time, he's lying. That's not true. That's not correct.
And the usual Trump expression too.
And Trump's expression was
a smirk
or
a little irritated.
But she used that space of quiet on a window when he's speaking to shake her head or say it's a lie. I think that also makes...
Well, I could say
that is silent fact
this is confirmed that mute buttons are not only for Indian news channels, but also as much in America, Geeta. But like you mentioned, I think it was as much about local issues, but regional issues that impact local views as well. Within America. Stay on with me. Let's go across now to Washington, D.C. Remember, India Today is the only Indian news channel right now that's been live since morning from the ground zero as well. That's where Rohit Sharma, a journalist, is joining me right now. Rohit, so a marked difference like we have been discussing. Not many memes possibly this time over the debate, but a lot of talk over the issues. What is the sentiment on the ground? What are you picking up about the chatter in America?
Well, first things first, Pooja, this is not Washington, D.C., where I'm standing right now. Is the debate center here in Philadelphia. So it's more or less everybody know that.
Okay,
We're at ground
okay.
zero. Yeah. And I think, a very interesting debate, very stark contrast from what we saw in June. Very different opponent. First things first, Kamala Harris goes and shakes hands with President Trump. Sort of skipped him off a little bit. He wasn't expecting that. I don't think he was. Very different competitor. She was forceful. She had prepared well. She was in Pennsylvania for 5 days, and I think it came across that she was very well prepared. I think Trump was trying to wing some of his answers, and he's always done that. This was his seventh presidential debate where he just came and he thought he could just get away by saying things, and he was corrected at least 5 times. I counted at least 5 times by the moderators. And obviously multiple times by Kamala Harris. So I think the prima facie, I think it's a good night for Kamala Harris. The expectations were low. She didn't have to, nobody expected her to do as well as she did. And nobody expected Donald Trump to lose this debate. I think, at the end of the day, both the campaigns will take a lot of talking points from this. But I think Kamala Harris, we've seen her debate before. And I think she was able to show her skills as a debater. I think other thing that a lot of people observed here, and we were all talking and chatting during the commercial breaks, was the fact that Donald Trump did not expect a lot of zingers, these one-liners from Kamala Harris, and she delivered them with punch. There was one zinger that Trump also delivered that landed. It was about, don't disturb me while I'm talking, and it kind of reminds you of or heard that before. So at the end of the day, I think Kamala has gone through the debate, unharmed. And then, the campaign that a person I was speaking with earlier today said that was the goal, to make sure that she comes across as presentable. One journalist that I was speaking with noted that she did better than Hillary Clinton in 2016. And this gives her campaign the boost that they needed, because her bump was plateauing in polls. She was going down in some of the key battleground states. I think her campaign will use this and take it forward. This is not going to. A lot of people said this could be the end of the election. If Trump does well and she does not do well, the election is sealed, and I think we'll see a very, very competitive race from here on. Pooja.
Very interesting. Rohit, stay on with me, because we're also joined by journalist Lenka White and about the discussion that's happening currently in the USA, and Geeta and I constantly analyzing on this.